The frost is heavy on the garden beds this morning. My heavy iron shovel bites hard into the cold earth as I dig up the last of the autumn roots. I am pulling up God's medicine. Before you reach for that bottle of pills, remember what our grandmothers already understood about stiff, locked joints. Long before sterile pharmaceutical laboratories existed, early monastic healers relied on the raw power of the earth. They used specific roots, pulled directly from the dirt, to actually rebuild worn cartilage and flush out deep inflammation. Today we are preparing the 7 most powerful ancient healing roots to reclaim your mobility. We begin with root number 7, Burdock root. Most folks consider burdock a stubborn weed, spending their weekends trying to eradicate it from the pasture. They simply do not realize they are throwing away a profound blood purifier. In traditional herbalism, chronic joint pain was often linked to stagnant, toxic blood settling deep in the extremities. What science now confirms is that the high concentration of inulin in burdock actually helps reduce inflammation directly in your synovial fluid. That is the crucial lubricating liquid cushioning the inside of your joints. When that fluid is thick with inflammation, every single movement grinds and burns. Burdock acts as a biological filter. To prepare this, I take the firm, first-year taproots. You must harvest them before the plant sends its energy upward into producing burrs. I scrub the heavy dirt off the thick brown skin under cold running water. Then, I slice the crisp white core into thin medallions. You do not want to rush this quiet process. I place the fresh slices into a heavy cast iron pot right on the wood stove. It needs a slow, rolling boil for at least 20 minutes. This long decoction gently breaks down the tough cellular walls of the root. The water will slowly turn a deep, earthy amber. Drinking 1 warm cup of this earthy tea every morning initiates the systemic flushing of your joint inflammation. Moving deeper into the garden, we find root number 6. Valerian root is the historical answer to the terrible tension that surrounds your pain. Severe joint pain is rarely just about the deteriorating bone. The muscles surrounding the joint will spasm and lock up tightly in a desperate attempt to protect the area. Early Benedictine monks cultivated valerian specifically to calm these severe muscular spasms. We know now that the volatile oils within the root interact directly with your nervous system. They halt those painful spasm signals dead in their tracks. But you must handle valerian root with very specific care. If you boil valerian like we did the burdock, you will permanently destroy the delicate, heat-sensitive, volatile oils. The healing value will literally evaporate right into the air. Instead, I use a slow, cold water maceration method. I carefully chop the fresh, intensely pungent-smelling root into fine pieces. I drop them into a glass jar and cover them entirely with cold spring water. I leave this jar sitting quietly in a cool, dark pantry for 12 hours. By morning, the water has gently extracted the active compounds without any heat degradation. Straining and drinking this cold infusion provides profound relaxation to the weary muscles holding your joints hostage. If this is the kind of wisdom you've been searching for, you're going to want to subscribe. We bring you a new remedy every week. Root number 5 shifts our focus to raw, aggressive inflammation, and this is ginger root. When you wake up with stiffness that requires an hour just to loosen your hands, you desperately need deep, circulatory stimulation. Entire ancient trade routes were built around the transportation of this heavy, fibrous rhizome. Scripture frequently reminds us of the healing spices and profound gifts yielded by God's fertile earth. Biologically, we see that ginger contains highly concentrated compounds called gingerols. Studies suggest these gingerols actively inhibit the production of inflammatory prostaglandins in your body. Those are the chemical messengers telling your body to create swelling and register sharp pain. Ginger simply silences those messengers. To release the maximum amount of these oils in my kitchen, I do not just slice the ginger. I place the raw, heavy, root flat on a solid wooden cutting board. I take a heavy wooden mallet and strike the root hard to bruise and crush the dense fibers. Bruising the root forces the internal cellular structures to rupture completely. You will immediately smell the sharp, fiery, volatile oils releasing into the cold air. I then steep this crushed mass in water that is just off the boil. The resulting brew is beautifully, intensely spicy. It drives deep, warming circulation straight into your cold, stiff hands and knees. We then turn to root number 4, which is Elecampane root. If your joint pain becomes significantly worse during damp, cold weather, you are dealing with what medieval herbalists called cold dampness in the bones. Elecampane was the specific monastic remedy cultivated to drive out this exact type of deep, aching chill. The root contains a powerful compound known as allantolactone. This compound is highly effective at reducing the swelling that flares up under atmospheric pressure changes. The root itself is absolutely massive. It often requires my heaviest mattock just to extract it from the packed earth. Because it is incredibly bitter, the traditional homestead method involves crafting a slow-simmered medicinal syrup. I clean and dice the thick root into small uniform cubes. I place these cubes into a small enamel pot and cover them with a thick layer of raw, unfiltered local honey. I set this pot over the very low, dying embers of the wood stove. It needs to steep gently for several hours without ever reaching a harsh boil. The ambient heat allows the rich honey to slowly extract the medicine. The final product is a thick, dark, beautiful medicinal syrup. Taking 1 spoonful of this infused honey daily provides a steady, warming defense against the damp cold that aggravates your joints. These first 4 roots build the vital foundation of our traditional apothecary. They purify the blood, relax the tense muscles, stimulate circulation, and drive out the damp cold. But the final 3 roots we are gathering do something much deeper. They move beyond simply managing your pain. They begin the actual physical restoration of the joint itself. We arrive at root number 3. This is marshmallow root. Before we dig into the earth, you must recognize the gentle plant above the ground. It grows tall in the wet, marshy areas of the homestead, producing soft, velvety leaves and pale pink flowers. But the true treasure is hidden beneath the mud. When you are dealing with severe joint pain, you are dealing with mechanical friction. The thick, protective cartilage that cushions the ends of your bones has worn thin over decades of hard labor. Every single time you bend your knee to pick up a heavy bucket, rigid bone rubs directly against rigid bone. It sounds like grinding coarse sand. It feels like a dry, radiating heat deep inside the joint capsule. To understand how marshmallow root solves this, you must understand botanical mucilage. If you slice open a fresh marshmallow root, you will immediately feel a thick, slippery substance coating your steel blade. This wonderful botanical mucilage physically mimics the biological texture of human synovial fluid. When consumed, it does not just digest in the stomach and disappear. Many practitioners believe it actively travels through systemic pathways to hydrate and coat the dry, inflamed membranes throughout your entire body. To prepare this powerful medicine, you absolutely cannot use boiling water. Extreme heat will permanently destroy the delicate mucilage. Instead, I take 2 heavy handfuls of the dried, finely shredded root. I drop them right into a large glass mason jar. I pour 4 full cups of cold, freshly drawn well water directly over the plant material. I seal the metal lid tightly and leave the jar sitting on the oak kitchen counter for 12 hours. Overnight, the clear water completely transforms. When you pour the contents through a metal sieve the next morning, the liquid is no longer thin. It is incredibly thick and heavy. Drinking one tall glass of this cold infusion feels intensely soothing, but its ultimate destination is those severely dehydrated connective tissues. It delivers deep hydration directly to the joints that have been dry and grinding for years. Moving forward, route number 2 is strictly reserved for external application. This is Comfrey root. For countless centuries, agricultural laborers referred to this specific plant as the bone knitter. Men and women who spent 14 grueling hours every day swinging heavy scythes survived severe joint wear because of this resilient plant. Comfrey possesses deep, black taproots that pull minerals from several feet below the topsoil. We absolutely do not consume comfrey root internally, as certain compounds can heavily burden the liver over time. Instead, we apply it exclusively to the exterior skin of the damaged joint. The undisputed power of the comfrey root lies in a naturally occurring chemical compound called allantoin. Allantoin acts as an aggressive cellular proliferator. Traditional wisdom holds that when introduced to damaged connective tissue, it forces injured cells to divide and multiply rapidly. It helps physically rebuild the damaged microscopic fibers of your tendons and ligaments. To harness this power, I take the solid black taproots of the second-year comfrey plant. I slice them and dry them near the radiant heat of the wood stove until they are completely hard and brittle. I place the dried pieces into a heavy stone mortar. I take a solid stone pestle and grind the hard roots until they break down completely into a fine, dark powder. I transfer half a cup of this fine powder into a heavy ceramic bowl. I slowly pour a very small amount of boiling hot water over the powder, stirring with a wooden spoon until it forms a thick, dark paste. While the paste is still intensely warm, I spread a thick layer directly over the bare skin of an aching knee or a swollen wrist. I wrap the entire area tightly with a clean strip of unbleached white cotton cloth. The penetrating heat drives the medicine straight through the skin and directly into the deteriorating joint. It forces the idle, damaged cells to wake up and begin the physical work of reconstruction. Finally, we step into the deep shade of the forest canopy to locate root number 1. This is Solomon's seal. Among all the medicinal plants in historical monastic records, Solomon's seal holds the absolute highest position for joint restoration. The root itself is visually striking and impossible to mistake. When you carefully dig it up from the loamy forest floor, you will see a long, thick white rhizome. It is covered in deep, circular depressions that look exactly like the melted wax seals used by ancient royalty. Hence the biblical name, directly referencing the legendary wisdom and authority of King Solomon. While the comfrey root works on cellular multiplication, Solomon's seal operates on a highly specific mechanism of physical tension. It specifically targets the synovial membranes. These are the fragile, internal sacs that hold your vital joint fluid. When severe joint issues relentlessly attack the body, these delicate membranes become chronically inflamed and completely compromised. Solomon's seal contains complex botanical compounds that intelligently correct the physical tension of these specific membranes. If the biological tissue is too loose, the root actively tightens it. If the biological tissue is completely locked and rigid, the root deeply relaxes it. It helps recalibrate the entire joint structure back toward its original biological baseline. Because the white rhizome is exceptionally dense and hard, it requires a very disciplined heat extraction process. I chop the thick root into small, uniform blocks. I place them into a heavy copper pot filled with exactly 2 cups of pure spring water. I bring the water to a steady simmer and let it reduce very slowly over low heat until half of the original liquid has evaporated. What remains in the bottom of the pot is a highly concentrated, intensely bitter decoction. You absolutely do not drink this heavy liquid casually. You take it in very small, deliberate, measured doses every single day without fail. Healing a major joint that has been continuously degenerating for 20 long years does not ever happen in a single miraculous afternoon. It requires the daily, unwavering discipline of returning to the fundamental roots God's earth has freely provided. We have become deeply conditioned by modern society to expect instant relief from a brightly colored plastic bottle. But simply masking the pain signals in your brain is not the same thing as physically healing the anatomical structure. Burdock root purifies the stagnant, toxic blood. Valerian root releases the gripping, protective muscle spasms. Ginger root drives out the accumulating inflammatory chemicals. Elecampane root steadily expels the deep, aching winter dampness from your bones. Marshmallow root restores the missing mechanical lubrication. Comfrey root forces the damaged, cellular tissue to rebuild itself. And Solomon seal intelligently corrects the fundamental mechanical tension of the entire joint capsule. This is not an alternative therapy. This is a complete, comprehensive pharmacy that is growing quietly in the cold dirt right outside your back door. Every single root we have discussed today represents a deliberate, intentional design. They are not random accidents of nature. They are specific, complex biological tools placed directly into the soil for our profound benefit. When you take the time to learn their identities and master their extraction methods, you reclaim a massive portion of your own independence. The absolute provision for your physical suffering has always been there, waiting patiently for us to remember exactly how to harvest and use it. The biblical texts have always pointed us back toward the land for our physical sustenance and our bodily restoration. We are not meant to live in a constant, deteriorating state of chronic pain and physical limitation. You do not need a multi-million-dollar advanced pharmaceutical laboratory to reclaim your physical independence and health. You only need a heavy iron shovel, a solid cast iron cooking pot, clean cold water, and a stubborn willingness to trust the original, perfect design of creation. If you have successfully used any of these ancient, powerful roots to heal your own body, I want to read about your results in the comments below. Share your personal record of healing with this growing community so others can learn from your homesteading experience. Turn on the notification bell right now so you never miss a practical lesson from our traditional apothecary garden. Save this video immediately so you have these exact extraction methods ready the very next time the cold winter weather settles deep into your aching bones. The healing doesn't stop here. Subscribe to Sacred Roots Revival, and we'll bring God's pharmacy straight to your doorstep every single week. This is Sacred Roots Revival.